I can fix it. The words came quietly from the corner of the crowded cafe, calm, certain, and warm, like a promise you didn't expect but desperately needed. The woman turned around, her eyes red from tears she tried to hide behind expensive sunglasses. Everyone in that cafe recognized her, Claire Morrison, the young CEO of Morrison Tech, a billion-dollar company on the verge of collapsing under scandal, burnout, and betrayal. She had come there alone, looking less like a corporate giant and more like a lost child who'd just learned the world wasn't as kind as she thought. Across from her, at a small table by the window, sat a man who didn't belong in her world, sleeves rolled up, worn-out boots, and a gentle strength in his eyes. A single dad, quietly helping his daughter with her homework as she colored on napkins beside him. That man was Jack Turner, a veteran who had seen war, loss, and the silent battles that come after. He didn't carry titles, but he carried something more, wisdom carved by life itself. When he said, "I can fix it," he wasn't talking about her company. He was talking about her. If you've ever felt broken, if you've ever reached the top and still felt like you were falling, stay with this story. Because what happened next changed not only her life, but his, and might just change yours too. And hey, before we begin, hit that like button and subscribe if you believe second chances are real, and that sometimes, the hero you need doesn't wear a suit, he just shows up when you've lost faith. Claire didn't respond at first. She thought maybe he was joking. But something in his voice made her sit down. "You have no idea what I'm dealing with," she said. "Try me," Jack replied. And so, between sobs and silence, she told him everything, how her company had grown too fast, how partners she trusted turned greedy, how employees left, how she hadn't slept more than 2 hours a night in weeks. But worst of all, how empty she felt, how the success she once dreamed of now felt like a trap closing in. Jack listened without interrupting. He didn't offer advice at first. Just listened. When she finally looked up, eyes swollen, voice trembling, she asked, "What can you possibly fix? You don't even know this world." He smiled softly. "Broken is broken, no matter what world it's in. I've seen leaders fall, soldiers freeze, fathers give up. You can rebuild anything if you fix the person holding the tools." That night marked the beginning of something neither of them expected. Over the next few weeks, Claire started meeting Jack and his daughter, Lily, every evening. Not in boardrooms or luxury offices, but in parks, diners, and quiet corners of the world she'd forgotten existed. Jack never talked about profit margins or quarterly reports. Instead, he asked questions that stripped away the armor she wore. When was the last time you laughed without checking your watch? When did you stop believing you were enough? Each question hit deeper than any therapy session, any leadership seminar, any motivational speech. He taught her to breathe again, to step away from the noise and find the girl who once dreamed, not the woman trapped by expectations. One day, Claire joined Jack at a veterans shelter. She saw him fixing broken chairs, teaching men with scars and stories how to believe in themselves again. She saw how Lily ran around the place, hugging strangers, calling them heroes. And in that simple, imperfect place, Claire learned more about leadership than any MBA could teach. "These men," Jack said, wiping sweat from his brow, "they don't need saving. They need purpose. Same as you." And it hit her. She'd been leading from fear, fear of losing control, fear of failing, fear of not being enough. But Jack, he led with love, with faith, with the quiet courage of a man who'd lost everything and still chose kindness. Weeks turned into months. Slowly, she rebuilt her company, not with flashy investors, but with people who believed in vision over greed. She reopened doors for veterans, single parents, and people who'd been forgotten by the system. The company stopped being just Morrison Tech, it became Morrison Hope. And one evening, at a charity event hosted in the same cafe where they'd met, Claire stood at the microphone, eyes shining. "Someone once told me, I can fix it," she said. "I thought he meant my company. But he fixed something far more important, he helped me fix me." The crowd applauded. Jack smiled quietly from the back, Lily asleep on his lap, a small smile on her face. After the event, Claire found Jack outside, leaning against his old truck. "You never asked for anything," she said. "Not money, not a job, not credit." He chuckled. "You already gave me everything I needed. A reason to keep believing people can change." "Stay," she whispered. Work with me. Not for the company, but for what we're building, second chances. He looked at her, then at Lily, then back at the skyline glowing with hope. All right, he said. But only if we build it together. And they did. Together, they turned pain into purpose, failure into faith, and a broken CEO into a beacon for everyone who thought they were too far gone. So if you're watching this right now, maybe you feel like Claire did. Maybe life's heavier than you can carry. Remember Jack's words, broken is broken, no matter what world it's in. And everything broken can be rebuilt. Because sometimes, the people who fix us don't wear titles or capes. They just see us, the real us, and remind us we're still worth saving.